manipulate the view of,
Okay.
instead of me having to tilt my laptop monitor back and forth, I think this might be better. I think we'll see. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay, as soon as you hear recording starting.
Thank you. Good morning, UMA family. My name is DeJur Jones. I am the sole proprietor of DeJur Jones Yoga Therapeutics. I am in Los Angeles. We'll start our time together with just a couple of reminders first. As we go through our time, if you need a break, water break, a rest break, whatever, please make that happen for yourself. You don't have to wait for me to cue that. Take care of yourself. You are your own best yoga teacher. If you have any injuries, be mindful as we go through the different shapes and poses. If I ask you to do something that you know will cause discomfort or pain, then please don't do it, or you might try to experiment and do it in a real curious way first to see what feels good enough versus going right into it and maybe hurting yourself or re-injuring or causing any pain. Discomfort is typical with yoga in the beginning because we're stretching muscles in shapes that they may not have been in lately. And so you may feel some discomfort, but pain is a whole nother thing. Pain is obviously a signal from the body that something is too much or not therapeutic or harmful. And so you can discern the difference. And again, you are your own best yoga teacher. I'll be offering variations as we go along, which means that I'll show you different ways to access the pose, and I invite you to experiment with them and see which one feels the best. Typically, one of them feels the best. You'll feel a sweet spot. And so look around for that and notice. I'll be asking you to notice different sensations or not. I'll be asking you to notice. You may not feel that sensation, and that is okay. But the asking is twofold. It is one, to keep your attention on what we're doing. And so other times it points out the target areas of the shape or the twist or the bend, whatever we're doing. It'll call out, if we did a forward bend, it'll call out that I'll say something like, notice if you feel anything in the low part of your spine. Again, you may not feel anything, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong or nothing to fix if you don't feel that. You may feel something on one side of the body and not the other side, and that is okay too. There's no wrong. It's just what it is, but it is a way to keep our attention on what we're doing and also calling out those target areas. So we're going to start seated. I'm just sitting in a little tiny stool, so it's really, really too short for me to do a whole practice in if I was doing a chair yoga practice. But it's what I am using to greet you. So I'm just going to stick with this instead of switching chairs in and out and all that. So just sit in a chair, preferably one with no arms, if possible. If it has arms, that's fine. We're going to sit with our feet parallel. And let me slide back to this. And my legs are separated to my comfort. Some of you might feel comfortable sitting like this. For me, I have to concentrate on keeping my legs together, and that is a distraction. So I prefer to separate and then I forget what's going on down here, and that's all good. Your hands, I'm gonna name a couple of options for your hands, and you can decide where you'd like to put them. Hands on knees or thighs, palms down. You can also turn the palms up. Palms up is a receiving gesture. So if you feel that you would like to receive something from, an answer or some clarity or something, you may symbolically you can place your hands upright. And these are called mudras, these hand gestures. Mudras are hand yoga. The word mudra is Sanskrit for hand yoga. You can place palms down if you'd like a more grounding thought. So hands, palms down on your knees or thighs. You can hang onto your belly. This is a way to self-soothe too. If you're feeling stressed out or anxious, you can hang onto your belly and just hug yourself here at the belly. You can try that out. Leave the left hand over the belly button, right hand over the heart. There's an option there, noticing the heartbeat pressing inward the right palm inward and see if you feel your heartbeat under there. And bring the left hand over the heart. Press down both palms inward. See if you can feel your heartbeat through the right palm into the left hand. So those are hand options. You may do throughout this practice with your eyes open or closed. It's your choice. For many of us, we prefer to see what's going on around us. So we like to have our eyes open. We may keep them open, looking in one direction, or keeping them open and looking around the space you're in. Some of us suffer from, not really suffer, but experience hypervigilance, which means we like to see what's happening around us. For others, they might prefer to have their eyes closed, and closed eyes, a couple of benefits. One of them, it shuts out the external stimuli around you. So the first thing that's shut out is the light. And then the closed lids signal a relaxation, send a relaxation signal to the nervous system. You can also choose to lower the lids halfway, which shuts out obviously half the brightness in the room you're in. And it also sends a relaxation signal to the nervous system. And so that's how the eyelids work for the human body, which is kind of amazing. If you want to get to sleep early, or not early, but quickly, laying on your back, you can put something over your eyelids like a folded face towel or a sock. I use socks when I'm in studio and I don't have a folded face towel or face towel with me. I'll just take one of my socks and drape it over my eyes. I also have these things called eye pillows. I don't unfortunately have one right near me to show you, but it's just a little pillow that's full of either rice or lentils. I mean, a lot of yoga people make their own if they have access to sewing machine or even needle and thread. It's not a lot of work. And it just drapes over your face. They're full of either uncooked lentil or uncooked rice, sometimes sand. And the benefit of that eye pillow or eye bag, some places call it, I call it eye pillow, is that aside from blocking out the light, the pressure of whatever's inside there, the rice or the lentils, send a deeper relaxation signal to the body by putting pressure on the eyelids. So with the towel or the sock, it's just laying across the eyes. But when you add the weight of whatever eye pillow you use, that sends a deeper signal of relaxation, and it could actually send you to sleep quite quickly versus not using anything like that. So you don't have to run out and buy anything. You can definitely just use a face towel or a sock, and it's the same benefit. And so we'll get started again, placing the hands in a place that's comfortable for you. We'll start first with a grounding. The grounding just means to bring our attention into the space we're in and kind of tuning out whatever is around us. You can do grounding in any environment you're in, and you can do it with eyes wide open and people won't even know that you're doing it. And so get rid of this music. It just means to sit still as you can, and I fidget, so it's still is relative. I'll be calling out some suggestions and some options for you while we go through this. So the first thing is we're noticing our feet on the floor or the ground, wherever your feet are. Just noticing the surface underneath your feet and the contact of your feet making a contact with that surface, whether it's flooring or carpet or cement or grass, sand, tile, linoleum, whatever's under your feet, just noticing the texture of that surface with your feet. And noticing the back of your thighs touching your chair. Contact points of the backs of the thighs touching the bottom, the seat of your chair. In my case, most of my thighs are not on top, sitting on top because the stool is really tight, but I notice the parts of me that are touching the stool, and then I notice the unsupported parts as well. Just having an awareness of what's going on the backs of our thighs. And then we move to sitting in a chair that has a back, your back making contact with the back of the chair. So spine touching the back of the chair. Even though we're relaxing on the back of the chair, we're sitting straight up. So the spine is lengthened up. We're tightening the abdominal muscles a little bit by pulling in the belly button. That engages the abdominal muscles. Sitting up straight, even though you're leaning on the back of the chair, noticing the contact of your back to the back of the chair. Listening for any sounds inside the room you're in. So behind me, I have a light timer to turn on the lights at night so I don't come into a dark room. So I can hear that timer running. And on the other side of me is the refrigerator. I can hear the motor of that. And so just having a listen of what's inside your space. You might hear family or friends, voices in the background, television, music, whatever it can be. We're going to now move our attention to outside our space. So maybe the neighbors' voices, dogs, children laughing or playing, cars, have trees around. If there's a breeze, maybe the leaves rustling. I have wind chimes outside and they are not moving right now, so I don't hear them, but someday throughout the day I hear them from the wind. Just have a listen. And we move around to looking around the space we're in. Even if you've been in this space a million times, look at it with fresh eyes. And just look at the different colors and textures of the things inside the space. Or inside your space. So fabric textures, or upholstery textures, or materials if you have tables, what they're made from, made out of. Artwork. Plants. I have a little clutter over here off camera you can't see, but it's there. So have a look around. Then we move to any smells in the room. So you might have the smell of breakfast, coffee, a recent shower, smell of the soap or whatever bath products you use, flowers. Then we move to tastes. So before I drank the coffee, I had toothpaste taste, the mint. Let's see if there's a taste in your mouth. Maybe not. Just notice that. Tap your teeth together. And then relax the jaw and bring the lips together. Tap the lips together. Come to settled. And we'll move our attention onto our breath. So for all my classes, we breathe through our nose. And I'm going to tell you why. We're using smooth inhales and exhales. So they're not jagged breaths. We're controlling the breath, sort of like an ocean waves out and in or in and out. They're not jagged, smooth. So you have to control your own breathing. And within that exhale is an opportunity to reset your nervous system. So in times of frustration or annoyance or anger or anxiety or fear or everything's okay or everything's great, you can use your breath to regulate your nervous system. So I use this example of all these things we've just done. When I go to see the tax man every year, he's a nice guy. I've been with him for a very long time. But knowing that I'm going there annually, I owe money. So that is upsetting and that is triggering to me. And so while I'm in his waiting room, I go through some of these things, not as long as we've done it because we have the luxury of time, but I go through some of these things just to settle my nervous system. So when you're sitting in traffic, instead of like gnashing your teeth and, whatever for the traffic, you can focus your attention on your breath. The traffic is going to still be there, but how you react to it is what's being controlled by your breathing. Or someone annoying you, you might have to work next to them like every single day. But you can practice throughout your day to use this focused breath or yogic breath or focused breath to serve you versus, being annoyed by them the whole day, every day, all week, So this is good, in the supermarket when the line is long and moving slow, or post office or DMV, wherever you show up, you can use this type of breathing just to help you to regulate your patience and all that. I don't do it all day long, but I definitely go to it when I need it. And so it becomes a practice. It has become a practice for me. So we'll practice that breath. So we're sitting up again, tall, hands wherever you want them to be. And just a full, deep, complete inhale through your nose. And you'll feel the front of your torso pop out when your lungs are totally full, or the other organs make room for the full lung. So your front torso will pop out a little bit, and then exhale everything out through the nose. And everything goes back into its neutral place or natural position. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale, exhale. So you can go back to your regular speed of breathing right now while I'm talking. So see if you notice any change in your being. You might not, but just from that breathing, we just put a lot of oxygen in our bloodstream, and the heart sends that, obviously sends that blood around with all that oxygen in it. So it hits the organs and the brain, and you might feel a little sense of settling or a little sense of clarity where things they aren't, but they might seem a little brighter to you. And so that is the benefit of getting getting oxygen into the blood and around the body. We are pretty much oxygen deprived in our daily living because we breathe typically way up here, shallow breaths, and we don't exchange out the old breath completely for a new full breath of oxygen. And so we are sometimes depleted. We might feel like we're dragging through the day or lethargic. You may have only been awake a few hours and you're already feeling tired or fatigued. Sometimes that's just lack of oxygen in the system. So we'll sit up again and we will do some twists here. Sitting up tall, bring your hands in front of your heart. You're flat again, separated to your comfort, whatever that is, you decide. We're going to inhale together. Bring the left elbow over to the right knee. So because I'm sitting so low, it's really easy for me to get my elbow to knee. But if I was in a chair, I might just hover my elbow above because leaning forward might be too much of a twist and a bend. So I want you to try what's good, what works for you. So either touching left knee to elbow or hovering left knee over, excuse me, elbow, right, left elbow over right knee, and see how that feels for you. Raise the right elbow up so the palms are pressing together firmly. By that firm pressing, we've activated the muscles in the arms, and we've sort of added a little bonus stretch around the shoulder blade. On this side, it will be the left shoulder blade. Just hold here, looking toward the right elbow. And then look down between your feet. Looking toward the right elbow. And look down between your feet one more time. Looking toward the right elbow. And looking down between your feet, and just hold here. Pressing the hands together, either leaning onto the right knee or hovering above, your choice. And take some breaths. So this twist, our spines get shrunken throughout the day from gravity. And so any twist in yoga, that's one of its benefits. It re-lengthens the spine. And also the twists move our organs out of their natural place and does what's called a toning, which is a massaging of the organs. There's no way to massage organs. You can do a little massage with a little organ massage with an external massage, but really there's no way to get to those organs. So these yoga twists are one of the benefits of benefiting the organs here. So hold here, position your head in a place that's comfortable for you. And take some breaths. Also the twist, we're stretching the left side rib cage here. So there's a little bit of opening up on the muscles along the left side of the ribs. Hold here and breathe. And we hold the shapes a little bit because initially the muscles might struggle. And we want them to, after their struggle, we want the muscles to relax and release. So we hold for a few breaths. If you get distracted, just come back to focusing on your breathing. Let's inhale. Drop your hands down beside you and see what you feel. Comparing right arm, left arm, right rib cage, left rib cage. See if you feel any change. You might not, but you might. So I want you to just do a little body scan here. And we'll change hands. And this is called Anjali Mudra. So I mentioned mudras are hand yoga. So Anjali Mudra is prayer hands in English. And we'll inhale and twisting now, right elbow toward the left knee, either touching the left knee or hovering above, your choice, yogi's choice. I would be hovering if I was in a real chair instead of a stool. My knees are really close, my hips are really low, so it's easy for me to get to my knees with my elbows. Right now, I'm gonna lift the left elbow, press the palms together firmly, looking at the left elbow, and then looking down between the feet. And while we're doing this, moving the breath. Looking toward the left elbow, then looking down between the feet. One more time, inhale, look toward the left elbow. Exhale, look down between the feet, and we're gonna hold here, and you can position your head any way that's comfortable for you. Might help to tip the chin down a little bit towards your body to take a little pressure off that, the twist in the neck that we're doing right now. See how that feels? Smooth and easy breath. Control your breathing. Check your jaw. If your jaw is tight, tap the arches of the teeth together again. And then stop, and then close the lips together and hold. Inhale, come up. Release the arms and see how things feel. So now we're comparing left arm to right, right side body to left side body, and see if you notice any changes. Hands in front of your heart will sweep out. Inhale, lift the arms straight up. Exhale, bring the arms back down, swan dive, and lean forward. We'll do a few more of those. Sit up tall, breathe in, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward bend. Hands up by the outsides of the ankles. Inhale, reverse. Sit up tall, reach up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. So we're getting some movement for the low spine. That's called the lumbar area or the lumbar spine. It's the lower curve of your spine. Exhaling down. So we're linking breath to motion. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to hold here. Hook your thumbs. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Thumbs are hooked. Extend the arms up overhead. If you can straighten your elbows, straighten and bring your arms back by your ears as close as you can. Sit up really tall and reach the arms upward, fingertips up. See if you notice a stretch around the shoulder blades and the shoulder joint. Breathe in. Exhale to your left. Keep the right shoulder back. So the right shoulder is going to want to curve forward. Pull it back. Side stretch. Inhale to center. Exhale to your right. Left shoulder pulls back. Breathe in. Center. Exhale left. Breathe in. To the center. And exhale right. We're going to hold here. So hold back the left shoulder. Take some breaths. This is another side stretch. Left side this time. And then inhale to center, exhaling to the left, right side stretch, hold the pose here. Pull your right shoulder back. And then inhale to center, we're gonna swan dive the arms. Notice how they feel as they come down. Feels kind of nice to let them go. Sit here, you can sit back in your chair and take a couple breaths. Checking in on the breath, see how you feel. So if you're feeling, you might feel a little energy on the side body, which is just blood flow coming into between those muscles. The blood is now able to get in there a little easier because the muscles have been stretched apart and open and lengthened. You might feel a little buzzy feeling on the side body. It's kind of energy, but you might feel some different sensations, and all that is the oxygen hitting those, the blood with the oxygen hitting those muscles. So we'll sit now with, bring your right ankle to your left knee. The right hand presses down. So notice immediately how the right hip joint feels. Mine is really tight. I am a flight attendant, and I just spent 3 days in airplanes, not 36 complete hours of airplanes, but a lot of flying time in the last 3 days. So I'm a little beat up. So this, I feel immediately in my right hip pressing down gently. So we're not forcing, we're not jamming. We're just letting the weight of the right hand or right arm press downward with the right inside of the right knee. And we're gonna forward bend. So exhale, let the arms hang. Looking down toward the left foot to see what you feel. And inhale, arms up, sit up tall, exhale down. 2 more. Breathe in, lift, sit up really tall. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. And exhale forward. We're going to hold here again. So forward fingers down toward the floor. Look down toward the left foot. Chin to chest a bit. And then come upright. I'm going to set the right foot down. Notice how your right hip feels when we put our foot down, right foot on the floor. Might feel the same. You might feel a little more spaciousness in that hip. We'll change to the left side. So left ankle to right knee. Pressing down left palm, inside left knee, gently downward. So the left hip is also tight, but not as tight as the right side. Observation. Nothing wrong with me. Nothing for me to worry about or try to fix. It's just, that is what is happening with my body right now. Take some breaths. So this is called a hip opener. That's what we're doing now. And there's a whole series of hip openers in yoga that can be done seated on the floor, standing, or on your back. So there's various ways to do these hip openers. Pushing down, and then we're going to exhale forward. Take some breaths. So the forward bending is, again, a good stretch for your low spine. So some of these things I'm explaining, if you are suffering from these throughout your day, the tight back and the tight shoulders and the tight hips, try to remember some of these shapes that you can do on your own. You don't need a whole, 1 hour yoga class. I sit like this on the airplane in my work seat sometime when I'm out of the view of the people, depending on what seat I'm in. And I just do, those seats are called jump seats. I call it jump seat yoga. And I'll just do some forward bend stretches, leaning on the wall, bending forward, just to keep myself loose and unbraced. Inhale for 3 of these, sit up tall. Exhale down. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale forward, and 1 more. Inhale, come up, and exhale forward. So if you work in an office or space where you're sitting all day, these chair yoga, and there's a library of some of these that I've already taught that you can implement throughout your workday as well. And then come up. Left foot on the floor, and see how things feel on the left side. So we'll move on to the mat now. We will start with butterfly shape. And butterfly pose. See, y'all are really far away. Let me bring this closer. Butterfly pose is just the feet, the soles touching. You can either have the soles touching or open like a book, your choice. When your feet are together, it's engaging some additional leg muscles. If you have access to a couple of towels, you can put them, or even books, you can put them under your legs so that you can let this go. I don't have any blocks nearby. I have some yoga blocks, but you can also just roll up a couple of towels and set them under there so that you can let go of the legs and not have to hold them up, to let them rest on the blocks or the towels. I have a few blankets around there for my cats. I could fold, they're not that big. I could roll one of those, or 2 of those up and put them underneath. So this is called butterfly pose or seated bound angle pose. That's the fancy yoga name. I call it butterfly, and there's a third name, cobbler. Not like peach cobbler, like shoemaker cobbler. So he must, or she must have been seen sitting like this 5,000 years ago, working on shoes, and that's how it got its name. I prefer butterfly, I think it's prettier, but you might hear it called different things among different teachers. So this is a stretch for the inner hamstring. These muscles are typically always tight because we never stretch them out unless we're a gymnast like Simone, or a dancer like the ballerina, I forget her name, but our beautiful African-American ballerina who they said was not the right body type to be a ballerina, and look at her. Anyway, unless we're dancers or gymnasts, we don't really stretch these muscles out. So I sometimes will watch TV sitting like this for a while, not the whole show, not the whole night, but just stretch these out. You can also do this laying down, which I do sleep like that sometimes, not the whole night, but just for a part of the night, and I stretch my legs out. So this is a passive stretch. While I'm talking to you, we are stretching this muscle. When I started yoga, my legs were up here, and I would look around the room which we're not supposed to do because we're supposed to be into our own zone when we do yoga. But as a newbie, I didn't know that yet. So I'm looking around and I see people's legs way down here. And I'm like, oh my God, mine look way up here. But over time, they went down on their own because the muscles lengthened. It is not immediate. It doesn't have to be. I know I won no award for when my legs finally went down almost to the floor. And there's still a long way from there. But this is the way my body is. So each and every body is different. So we might have someone that was a little child gymnast or ballerina whose legs can go flat down onto the floor. Great. She's not getting an award for that. But it's just our individual body. So when we compare ourselves, it's a distraction. It's not necessary. We are working on the body that we have today, not somebody else's body that they're wearing today. Okay. So this is a passive stretch where the the inside hamstrings. Also, we're hip opening. And I talked about that. We carry a lot of, some books of mine say life's traumas in our hip joints. And so we have to remember ways to stretch out our hips throughout the day, just, for one thing, just to keep the tension off of them. And if we're having trauma and we're holding it, we can release some of that by some of these yoga poses. Extend the left leg straight out. Pull the right sole of the foot to the inside of the left thigh and just sit up really tall. We're going to exhale and go forward. So this is a bend, it's called a seated forward bend with a hip opener thrown in. Okay, so the left leg is getting a stretch, calf, back of the knee, and hamstrings and back of the thigh. Left toes are pointing, left foot pointing straight up. Flex the foot and you'll turn on the muscles in the leg. There's another passive toning happening when we flex our feet up like this. Lean forward and hold. Look down at the left knee to relax the back of the neck. And just get comfortable here, get still, and hold the shape. You may position your hands closer to your feet. If you have access to wrap your hands around your feet, awesome. Your hands can be back by your knees. That's just as good. It's all the same. Some of you may have access to forearms down. Great. It's all the same. This shape is about the low back, the back of the straightened leg, and the hip. So it doesn't matter where you put your hands, it's all the same thing. Okay, so get settled here for just a couple breaths. See if you feel a release happening in the back of the left knee. Taking smooth, controlled breathing in and out through your nose. And then let's inhale, walk upright with your hands. Extend the right leg out. Let's do a quick comparison. So my left leg feels a little longer. It's not, but it feels like that. And that's the lengthening effect. The lengthening of the muscles has an effect that the leg got longer. It's not longer, just more, the muscles are more relaxed from being stretched. We'll change sides. Left foot touches the inside of the right thigh. Right toes are facing up. Going to take a breath in and then exhale forward. Hands again, by the foot flat on the floor, by the calf flat on the floor. Forearms down if it's accessible, hands wrapped around the right foot if that's accessible. It's all the same. Stretching the back of the right leg from the heel up to the top of the thigh. Hip opener for the left hip. A stretch for the lumbar spine. The low part of the spine is getting stretched because we're bending or leaning forward. Look down at the right knee so that you can relax the back of your neck. Just hold here and take a few breaths. Smooth and easy breath. Control the breath. Check your jaw if your teeth are clenched. Separate top and bottom arches of the teeth from each other and then close the lips. Check your facial muscles. Make sure you're not grimacing or frowning or whatever. The face should be relaxed. If you're grimacing and all that, you might be bending forward too much. So then you come up just a little bit and try that. We want to get rid of constricting our facial muscles in discomfort. If you want to try to smile, I'm not saying smile like some people say, why aren't you smiling? But you can also put on a smile if that's what you're feeling right now. A sweetened face is all I'm asking for. Okay. And then when you're ready, come up, walk upright on an inhale. Extend the left leg out. See how things feel. Check out the inside of the inner thigh muscles and see if they feel a little longer or looser. I'm going to separate the legs now to your comfort. So we don't want them so far back that you're in pain, but we do want to feel the front edge of a stretch. So here I feel a little tiny stretch. If I open wider, it's uncomfortable. Okay, so I want to come to the front edge of the sensation is where I want to be. Toes up, again, that turns on the muscles in the legs. So that's a passive toning of the muscles in the legs. I'm going to exhale and go forward. So we have options, palms flat, wherever you can be. You may also go forearms down. Some days when I'm really loose, I can put stack my hands and put my forehead on my hands. Today is not that day, but some of you might be loose enough to do that. So get with whatever shape you can be comfortable in. We're gonna hold this for a few breaths. Look down toward the floor, and that relaxes the muscles in the back of the neck. So hold here and take some breaths and notice any sensations. Toes stay up, toes up to the sky. Palms are flat on the floor or the mat, fingers are spread. So this pressing down into the floor turns on the muscles in the arms. Again, a passive toning. Let's take 5 more breaths, your count. Fill your lungs to their capacity. Everybody's lung capacity is different. So take 5 full measures of your breath. And then when you're done your 5th inhale, exhale, inhale yourself upright, walk your hands back. Bring your legs together. We're gonna lean back on our hands. So fingers away from you or facing you. It depends on your skeleton, what's more comfortable. Feet flat on the floor. And we're gonna windshield wiper our knees. And so depending on your comfort, you can bring your feet together and try it, or you can separate, try that, or even wider, and try that, and see what works for you. So we'll do a few of these. These are called windshield wipers. And again, experiment with your hand placement. Fingers towards your tush might feel more comfortable or better than fingers away from your tush with the thumbs out. You can try both and see what works for you. Breathing through the nose. The next time your knees go to your left, let them hang there. Breathing through the nose. And then let's shift the knees to the right side and let them hang there for a while. Take a few breaths. And then come back to center. Let's sit cross-legged. So depending on your comfort, you can have your feet or legs near your torso or away. It's all the same. You pick what's comfortable for you. Bring the left hand to the right knee. We're twisting to the right. Left hand touches right knee. Sit up really tall. This is a spinal twist. So I talked about the benefits. Number one, it re-lengthens the spine after gravity has compressed us all day long. So it's putting space between each pair of vertebrae and a spongy disc between. And it also, by opening the space between each set, rehydrates the spongy discs, which is a good thing. And then let's inhale, both arms up and over to the left, right hand, left knee, twist to the left. Sit up tall, breathe through your nose. One more big breath here. And then inhale, both arms up. We're going back to side one. And this time we're going to move our head side to side. So you may hear some crunching or popping. And all this is nitrogen gas bubbles that get caught in our joints all around the body. They get stuck or they happen. And this is that sound could be their releasing. And then inhale, both arms up again, second side, last time. Twisting to the left and again moving the head from side to side. Slow and easy. These pops or this motion should not be painful to the neck in any way. If it is, just hold your head still in one position. Otherwise, moving the head back and forth. You can do this with your eyes opened or closed, your choice. And then come back to center, right hand on the mat, sort of straight out from your right hip. So we want to lean on that. We don't want to have it behind the right hand behind us where the shoulder's coming forward. We want to be sitting neutral and just going out to the right with the right hand. Bring the left arm up and all the way across over towards your left ear and hold. So the left shoulder may want to cave forward. We pull it back. It's a side stretch. The left arm is straight and reaching over to the right. So left arm near right ear. Try to straighten the left, try to straighten both arms. So the right hand is pressing into the floor. There's that toning thing happening again. Big breaths here. And then inhale to center, both arms up and overhead. Stretch up, reach up. Exhale, left hand goes straight out from the left hip. Right shoulder stays back. Right arm near right ear. And hold. So see if you notice any stretching sensation of the right side rib cage. And then let's inhale. We're going back to side one. I want you to change your legs. So other leg in front or on top. Right hand down. Straight out from the shoulder joint. Lean over to the right. We're going to circle the left arm. So you have options, big, small circles. So they'll be more vertical, or bigger ones with a bigger radius. Let's see which one works for you. You can do both. And change, switch back and forth if you want. Reverse your circle. Again, big or small, big and small, it's all the same. Whatever feels the best to your shoulder is what we're going for. And then let's inhale, both arms up, sit up really tall, stretch upward, breathe in, and then we're exhaling, left hand down, right arm over to the right, circle big or small, your choice. Checking in on the breath, smooth and easy. Checking in on your jaw, relaxed. Facial muscle smooth. Let's reverse the circle, right arm. Slow movement, slow breathing. And then inhale, come back upright. Let's extend the legs. This time, windshield wiper, just the feet. Shake out your hands, shake out your arms. Bring the left foot to the right thigh. We're going to do a little foot massage here. So the feet have over 1 million nerve endings. Those nerve endings correspond to organs in the body. Usually the organs are only stimulated when they do their job, whatever their job is. But when we massage our feet or hands, we can stimulate those organs where they're not actually working, but they're getting a benefit of that foot massage or hand massage. So I'm doing my right knuckles up and down my foot. So try that. You could try anything that feels good. I'm just going to name some suggestions. Knuckles on the arch. Big breaths through your nose. You can separate the toes, wiggle the toes, separate them, circle them. Massage where the toe connects to the foot. You can try that. You can use the thumbs to really get in the foot, the muscles of the foot. It's really up to you what feels good. And again, that's different for each and every one of us. So I prefer a little more firm massage to my feet. I don't know why. I like massages that are kind of a little on the rough side because I feel like the massage therapist is getting into like knots of just stress and stuck muscles. And so I prefer deep tissue massage. One of my friends says she likes more Swedish style where it's more rubbing because she has fibromyalgia. And if it's too much pressure in the muscles, it hurts her. And so we're totally different. Another example of each body is different. So when I get those Swedish massages, which is always by accident, it just feels like someone's putting lotion or oil on me. I don't really get any benefit from it. It feels nice, but I don't feel any muscle relief or tension relief. And then let's change to the other foot. So extend the left leg out, bring the right foot to the left thigh, massage in whatever way feels good. Breathing through your nose. And so this is a nice thing to do for yourself right before you go to bed. You don't have to take a lot of time doing it. It's just relaxing. And if you were going to bed, I would say get some lotion or oil since I don't usually do the oil or lotion because sometimes I've had to stand up. I'm not gonna do that today, but stand up on the mat and it would be slippery or whatever flooring. But if you're going to bed, you can do that, put socks on and call it a day. So separating the toes. You can also left hand interlace the fingers between the right toes and separate like that and kind of move the whole foot around. Something like this. Just let a little space and blood flow in between the toes by separating them. We're going to move into final rest for our last few minutes together. So you can either just lay back on your mat. We'll give you some options. So I'll turn sideways. You can just lay back. This is called corpse pose. Okay, and it's just like it sounds. You're just laying out on your back. For many of us, laying out like this is definitely a trigger. But let me start over. For some of us, laying out like this is bothersome for the low back. I'll start there. And you can feet flat, feet wide, knees touch. So it looks like this. Feet flat, feet wide, knees touch. That takes the pressure off the low back. Okay, that's option one. For some of us, what I was going to say before, laying out like this is vulnerable, it's uncomfortable, it's a trigger, it's an activation. So we don't want to do that in yoga. We do a side corpse pose. So knees up high, turn onto your favorite side. It doesn't matter what side. Bottom arm is your elbow. So I don't know if you can see me readjust myself. So it looks like this. Okay, that's side corpse or side shavasana. Shavasana means final rest. Shavasana also means corpse pose. Okay. You can also take this time totally sitting up. It's your choice. So some of my students prefer to sit up, and you can do that too. So please pick a way to be that's comfortable for you, where you can really get still and release and relax. And we'll start sort of where we started in the beginning. We start with just noticing the parts of us that are touching something else. Okay, so I'm going to do this seated so that you can hear me. I notice the sides of my feet touching the floor. I just roll my mat so that my hips are up higher, a little higher, so I feel the crease of my mat under my butt. I feel my hands on my thigh, my knees. I feel the air on my skin, so notice the air on your skin. Go back with the sounds around you, inside and out. Smells. The breath. So noticing your feet and toes. Noticing toes. Excuse me, hands and fingers. Noticing legs and arms. Noticing your spine, whether it be along the earth's surface or vertical to the earth's surface. Noticing your spine, where is it? Noticing your jaw. Is it tight? If it's tight, unbrace it. Separate the arches of the teeth and then bring the lips together. Facial muscles relaxed and neutral. Smooth, slow, and deep inhales. Complete exhales. Listen to the sound of your breath. It sounds like ocean waves. If you start to get distracted, bring your attention back onto your breath. If you're laying on your side, go onto your back. Everyone inhale and bring arms up overhead. And exhale, big stretch with the arms overhead, circling the feet and ankles, hands and wrists, reaching, or flexing and releasing the fingers, and pointing and flexing the feet. When you're ready, make yourself up to seated. And we'll sit in cross-legged seated pose, also known as easy pose, which we did earlier. It looks like this. I hope you've enjoyed the class. I hope that you can pull out some nuggets that you can use in your daily living. I will see you in a week. May you be happy. May your life have meaning, and may you be an instrument for social change.